All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets for the one-game slate on Wednesday. We got the Charlotte Hornets versus the LA Lakers. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that we need to do is take a peek at the projected lineups and the injury report, because it is going to be difficult to really dial in on which prop bets we should be looking at. Obviously, these two teams try to make a trade as well that obviously fell through due to Mark Williams failing a physical. There's reports out there that Mark Williams might not want to play for the Hornets again. We'll see if that ends up being true. Kind of the expectation with all these players being injured heading into the All-Star break is that they're going to go ahead and play after the All-Star break for the most part. So like LaMelo Ball, you're probably expecting maybe back. That's the issue. Jaxson Hayes, you are expecting back though. Mark Williams is a big question mark. We don't know if he's going to play. And then looking at LeBron James, who ended up being a DNP at the All-Star game, which, come on, LeBron, what are you doing? Why are you taking an All-Star spot away from someone? It's kind of BS. But like the question is, was he close enough to playing in that game? And that's why he ended up, not having someone fill in for him, because he thought he was going to play and actually just was a little bit banged up. Didn't want to risk that potentially, but we don't know that. So we kind of have to prepare for multiple scenarios in this game where LeBron plays, he doesn't play, where Mark Williams plays, he doesn't play. And that's the tough part here. Is we're just having to kind of dial in that way. All right, so let's go ahead here and take a peek at the current best bets that we have. And the best one is actually going to be Austin Reaves to get under 6.5 assists. This is currently a good EV bet for us. Okay. Now, when we look at his stats, we do see he's basically been hit or miss in this department in terms of getting the over here, guys. Typically right around there, 4, 7, 9, 6, 5, 6. The issue with Austin Reaves is if we get LeBron sitting out, he is someone that does get a big bump in his usage. Okay. On the season, he has about a 52% hit rate for this over. Against Charlotte, though, only a 29% hit rate, which is kind of interesting. Now, I'm going to be looking at some per 36 numbers here. And so kind of doing like a little bit of reverse engineering, if you will. If LeBron sits, I kind of expect Luka to, I guess, pick up that usage, if you will, that LeBron would be out with. But if we look at the data with, let's say, Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and D'Angelo Russell off the court, which again, it's kind of weird trades. We still don't have a proper sample set. Like, I wish that we could just look at, all right, LeBron off the court with Luka on the court. Let's see that. But there's only like 40 minutes going into that sample, so we don't have that just yet. But basically, when a star player is off the court, Austin Reaves does see a pretty big bump in his production in total. His usage spikes as well. So we would have a 29% usage rate. He would average about 6.5 assists per 36. So right at that number right there. The big thing that he actually benefits with is actually the points. He benefits the most in points. So he averages 27 points per 36 with all those players off the court. Anthony Davis, Max Christie, D'Angelo Russell. Again, I'm not doing LeBron in that sample, because if LeBron sits, you would expect Luka to pick up that kind of role, if you will. But the point is, if we get news that LeBron does sit, Austin Reaves is a player that does benefit the most. So if you think LeBron's going to sit, this is my long way of saying, bet Austin Reaves for over his points. If you think LeBron is going to play, maybe you bet Austin Reaves for under his 6.5 assists. Now, you look at Austin Reaves on his current points line of 20.5. The data is kind of telling us to bet the under. It's about a 52% likely for the under to hit. But for me, guys, again, it's just more or less betting on and they bumped this, is LeBron going to play or is he not going to play? If he's not going to play, his over should be the way to go. If LeBron does play, well, we're probably betting on his under naturally already there. So interesting lines there with Austin Reaves, but that under 6.5 assists is currently the best bet. So I wanted to start with that. Now, another bet that we have popping up would be LaMelo Ball for under his rebounds of 4.5. The issue with LaMelo Ball is he going to be fully good to go in this game? Projection data likes him to get about 32 minutes, which is right around what he has averaged. And so that would tell us that, yeah, he probably would be good to go and be able to get this over if he does get those minutes. And I say that because we see 10 minutes, 36, 9, 30, 34. The minutes have been variable with him, so we don't really know whether or not we can bank on that. But again, assuming that these players like LaMelo Ball, where we are getting his prop lines, that's Vegas telling us that they expect him to play. And so that if he does play, are we expecting him to get his full allotment of minutes? I would be. And so for him to actually get the over 4.5 rebounds is a bet that I would rather be on. And so the fact that Vegas is telling us to bet the under, I think that's a better over bet on any of these other sites that are kind of telling us to do that. And so we are seeing differing lines. So if you guys are someone that bets on ESPN Bet, Hard Rock Bet, FanDuel, where you're getting a plus number on that, I would feel much more comfortable betting on that rather than placing a bet on PrizePicks or Underdog for under 4.5 rebounds. So I want to get into another Lakers player here, Jaxson Hayes. We are definitely getting some interesting lines here with him as well. So looking at Jaxson Hayes and his under 16.5 rebounds, if you guys are someone that likes to look at the like hit rates, you are going to love this bet. Okay, typically I tell people just don't concentrate on that. It's kind of a waste of time, but I mean, it is pretty crazy. So this season has a 13% hit rate for the over against the Charlotte Hornets. That actually doubles. So he hits it about 33% of the time, which if take that for what it's worth, if you guys like that, sure. Now, they are kind of thin big wise. Like he might be forced into more minutes than the 24 minutes that he's projected to get. But yeah, he has consistently been getting this under. And so it's definitely an interesting line that we're getting there. So if you guys like that bet, you can run that out. But again, against Charlotte, it is a little bit of a benefit for him where it helps a little bit. But obviously we know that's mostly based off the minutes. Maybe if LeBron does end up saying that helps him out slightly more where he does get a little bit more run. But yeah, I think if you guys are someone that does chase, more of that hit rate, like I expect this to be a popular bet basically by the time this game is live, because people are going to kind of come in and see that and see that he should be getting the under. Not exactly a bet that I'm going on my way to target, but I did want to call that out to you guys. Then kind of another interesting line as well. We'll be looking at Austin Reaves, okay, and right now on Underdog. Well, they had his line of the under points and assists at 29. That was literally about to call out. They're adjusting that right now, which they probably should be, but we can touch on the points and rebounds line as well. And so again, he typically is someone that is getting the unders for this, and so about a 23% hit rate on the season, which obviously not good. But again, it really just depends on if LeBron's playing and really what role Luke ends up playing in this game, where Reaves could be the one that's benefiting the most with LeBron potentially sitting. Again, I don't really want to bank on that, but just want you guys to be prepared for either scenario so you guys can jump on them. All right, so let's move on past if LeBron sits. If he plays, we are getting some okay lines. So LeBron for over assist is a popular bet, and that's just mostly due to his good consistent hit rate on the season, averaging about 73% hit rate on the season. He's been crushing, getting to this line for the most part for the past 5 games, the past 10 games, the past 20. Has a good hit rate against the Charlotte Hornets as well, about a 77% hit rate. And if you look at the line right now, it is about a 51.4% likelihood for the over to hit. Again, if he plays, the minutes should be there. Decent matchup, about a push, 19. Best matchup there, so not really a plus matchup, but still not terrible, not something we'd be avoiding. So if you want to run that out there, you can. So Austin Reaves under his assist, LeBron over his assist, perfectly fine with both of those two prop bets there. And so now, guys, let's go ahead now and just jump into Charlotte here. We got a decent breakdown of what we're looking at for the Lakers in terms of good, decent edges that we are getting. Looking at right now, we are really potentially just looking at, again, LaMelo Ball for potentially under his rebounds. Again, I think that's a better over sportsbook bet. I think we're getting a better edge there. I'd rather go with that. Josh Green is certainly interesting here. He does draw a difficult matchup, and I say that in quotations because obviously they got worse. The Lakers did, losing Anthony Davis. They tried to make up for that with getting Mark Williams. If Mark Williams does end up sitting, Josh Green is actually someone that should benefit. Maybe he gets a little bit more of a bump in his minutes there as well. We see the last couple of games, 27, 25 minutes, but it wouldn't be shocking to see him get 30 minutes. In the last game against the Lakers, he was able to get 33 minutes in that game. Now, only had 1 rebound in that game, but again, not a true kind of sample because, again, Anthony Davis is not there. You're going against Jaxson Hayes, Hachimura. That could be a good thing there for him. And so I don't mind the idea of betting on his over. This one has about a 52.2% chance to hit, so I'm perfectly fine with that one. I think that's fine. If you guys want to get there, you certainly can. On the flip side of that, an interesting line that we had with Josh Green would be actually his under points and assists. Okay, so Underdog currently has this line at 8.5. For him to get under, well, I guess that'd be a push, basically. Maybe you could be looking at the over, actually. But PrizePicks currently has that at 9. Okay, so at 9, it's a little bit too high. But again, looking at the last game against the Lakers, he was able to get the over in that game. So do you really want to roll with that one, given the fact that he was able to get the over in that last game? I don't know. That's up for you guys to decide. But again, I just want to call that out to you. All right, and so just a quick peek at some of the other prop bets that we're getting. Again, a decent sportsbook bet that I think that we have would be Miles Bridges for over his rebounds here of 7.5. We do see a little bit of mixed results, but if he is going to be gaining about 35 minutes in this game, I don't hate the idea of betting that over. Again, more on traditional sportsbooks. I don't want to be betting this over on PrizePicks or Underdog, where it's telling us that the under is slightly favorited there. So maybe a stay away there. And so with that, guys, let's go ahead and jump into Underdog as well. Underdog, you're going to notice that we are gaining a decent amount of edges right now. I do expect these lines to fluctuate, though, again, just depending on the injury reports. But as it sits right now, we are getting some pretty clear edges for Miles Bridges, whether it be over his points and assists here, 24.5, whether that be his points and rebounds. That's a very good edge. We are seeing LaMelo Ball for potentially under his assist of 6.5. If you guys ever wondered the difference between a line being bumped down to 6 or being at its original line, You guys kind of see that there. On PrizePicks, not really a bet that we were targeting. Underdog, one of the better bets. We are seeing Luka for under his assist here as well, 7.5. That's an interesting one. That's not exactly one that I feel like I need to go on my way to target, but I did want to call that out to you guys. If you guys like it, it is going to be in the underdog bet of the day, simply because it is a good bet and we don't want to avoid those good bets, but definitely want to call that out to you guys as well. LaMelo Ball. We're seeing a prop line difference for him for his points here between PrizePicks and Underdog, 24.5 on PrizePicks, 23.5 on Underdog, so a decent edge there as well. So we are seeing it's probably a better day, at least right now, on Underdog to be potentially attacking the slate a little bit more. And if we're going to do a 3-slip bet, which I'm going to do, guys, it's literally going to be these top 3 bets that we were getting, then we want to be doing it more on Underdog. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and get into the bets of the day. All right, so we're going to start off with that underdog bet of the day, the one I just called out, just highlighting those top 3 bets once again there for you guys. Now, do I particularly love the idea of doing LaMelo Ball or Luka Doncic from their assist? The first game back from the All-Star break where they're probably going to get extended minutes, especially Luka with the potential to get those extended minutes. No, I don't love that, but it is what it is. Miles Bridges right now, currently the best bet on the board for over 24.5 points and assists. Before you guys place that bet, if you guys are a 9-to-5 member, just double check and make sure that that is still a good bet. Obviously, the odds will be adjusting throughout the day. We got about a freaking 24 hours before this game kicks off. These lines are going to change, so just make sure to make the best decisions possible as well. And so, guys, as I'm recording this video right now, we aren't getting that many Hornets prop bets right now on PrizePicks. Again, lines are going to be fluctuating. You can't really control that. These are kind of what I'm looking at right now. If we get news that LeBron does end up playing, I like these ones a little bit more, just because it takes away a little bit of work from Jaxson Hayes and some usage away from Austin Reaves, to the point where I don't mind that. Okay, if LeBron's getting his over assist, that's probably at the hands of Reaves doing a little bit better as well. Shooting the basketball, meaning he's not going to be passing as much. So I'm okay with that. Again, tough to really break down this slate just because we don't have the injury news, but I wanted to get that out to you guys. Hopefully we can gain some early edges. That's really the point of coming out with these videos hours before, a day before, is to get some early edges, and we can readjust the day of. And so be on the lookout for tomorrow's video where I just all the best prop bets for the slate on PrizePicks and Underdog tomorrow, whether it be college basketball or NBA. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you being here. Good luck with all your bets. And as always, let's keep cashing.